Male parts fit into female parts.
Just say.
Amen. And I'm gonna leave that there. But you know,
Write that down.
Actually, if we have time tomorrow morning and you guys want to dig into intimacy versus sex, we can do that. If everyone's comfortable with doing that. Eden's okay with doing it? Okay, so the thing about men and women is we all have brains, we all have bodies, but even the way that our bodies were constructed, obviously besides our sexual organs, men have broader shoulders, right? And more narrow hips. It is a protection thing. Men have more upper body strength. Everybody knows this. This is not an insult, it's a fact.
Yeah.
Men have upper body strength because they were created to do hard work, to lift things, and to protect the vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's why they're shaped different than we are. I told you why you have hips. I think you know why you have breasts.
Yes.
Right? Yes? They're multifunctional. They keep men and children alive. As Major said, she's not wrong. Our minds are work completely differently. So when you guys are here, the next semester that we go through, we'll go through some actual detail. But we have completely different minds, and the biggest mistake we make as human beings is not taking ourselves out of ourselves and putting ourselves in someone else's world. The most successful way to have relationships with anybody is think, what is it like in their world? What is it like from their perspective? When you have little tiny babies like Eden's age, but when they just maybe start just crawling around, your pediatrician will say, or a good website will tell you, get down on your hands and knees and crawl around your house and look at what the dangers are. Because from where I'm standing right now, I can't see outlets. But when I get down on my knees, I can see that there's an outlet that a child can stick something in and wound themselves. I can see that there's something hanging off there, and if she pulls it, it's going to fall on her head. We have to do that with each other. We have to get into other people's perspective and figure out what their world looks like.
Yeah.
We have no idea where they're going.
Yeah.
So what women do all the time is we think men's brains work exactly like ours, and so we're always mad at them.
Yeah.
And they're always in trouble. And then men don't understand what is going on with this woman. Why does she say the things that she said? Why is she quiet now? What's wrong now? What did I do? I don't know what I did. And she's thinking, I don't know how we could know what I did. Right? Tomorrow morning I'm going to tell you guys a story, and you'll see how deep that actually goes, because it's good. I wrote it myself. It's so good. It's so funny. But this is what I had to learn to do. I married a man, and I grew up in a house with emotionally unstable women and a man that went quiet. My sweet dad could only survive by being quiet, because everything he said was wrong. He was always in trouble. And so he just got quiet. And he's got a lot of really beautiful things to say. And so then I got married, and I had a man that had a woman that was not broken and had not stepped into womanhood, a woman that acted like a little girl. When I didn't get my way, I pouted. Sometimes I'd pout for 3 or 4 days to make my point. And I thought that was completely acceptable behavior, because I'd only ever seen women act that way. But it made my man go silent.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do anything right. He'd say, where do you want to eat? And he'd say, do you want to go to Olive Garden? We can't go to Olive Garden. You know I'm trying to lose weight. It's all that bread. Really, these are the things I used to do to this poor man. He's probably so glad he's dead. He's like, oh God. I can't tell how many times I'm like, I'm so sorry I didn't know. Like the things that I'm like, when I woke up, that's why my marriage is a gift now. That's why I have insight for this now, because I realized I don't know. I need to find out.
Yeah.
I was clueless, yes.
Does it go the opposite way too? Like if a woman's walking in health, it doesn't mean that, oh, for me at least, my experience has been, even if I'm walking in health, my mind still works that way, where it's just sort of like,
100%.
and so it seems to me that the opposite would be true of a man looking at you and saying, you're probably thinking of 6.2 million things right now, give or take.
You mean a man can look at you and say, I know you're thinking of
Yeah,
me?
like putting a man putting himself in women's shoes, not necessarily just a woman putting herself in women's shoes.
Absolutely, we have to do both of it, but we have to have some type of understanding. So this is what I don't understand. We go to high school or college and we learn stuff that doesn't matter, and nobody ever teaches about stuff that actually really does matter. And then we're mad at you guys because you don't know.
Yeah.
There's a young woman, she's 26 years old. I saw her on, I was watching I like to watch the news for like 45 minutes a day just so I know what's happening in the world, and then I shut it off. But she graduated from Harvard Law School, and she realized she didn't know what to do about health insurance, car insurance. She didn't know how to do any of those
You're right.
things.
Yeah.
You're right.
But she had a degree from Harvard Law
Yeah.
School, so she's
Yeah.
a smart woman.
Yeah.
So she started an entire company, a website that said, without putting anyone down from your generation, saying, this is how you do this, this is how you do this, because we're not teaching you.
Yeah.
This is on us. So whenever people stand up and they start trashing millennials, I'm like, but who didn't teach them?
Yeah.
Or they start trashing, Generation Z because they look at their phones all the time. Like, who wanted a phone?
Yeah.
We got to look at ourselves. So that's why we got to have these conversations. You have to educate yourself. So if you want to be in an intimate relationship with someone of the opposite sex, study how the brain works
Yeah.
and have conversations about
Yeah.
it. And if you want to raise little baby humans to be really good, functional big humans, figure out how their brain works.
Yeah.
So simply put, men have compartments like we talked about this morning. They have compartments in their brain. That is something I believe came from evolution, where you think about the things that men had to do in order for their families to survive. The women may be in a cave, they got to keep the fire going, they got to get some berries, they got to take care of the babies. The men had to go get some protein or they weren't going to make it through the summer, through the winter, right? So they're out there and they're tracking one animal for 3 days. I have a son that tracked a elk for 3 days in snow this deep in Colorado when he was 14 years old. I don't know what he ate. I don't know when he went to the bathroom. I don't know if he slept. He was obsessed with this elk. He finally got it. I'm sorry, PETA people, but we eat animals. I'm sorry, we do in our family. And it was like a week later, and he has all these great stories from his hunting expedition. And I said, Tyler, before you leave for school, would you take the trash down to the end of the driveway? He goes, it's too far. Can I take Dad's truck? I was like, you just tracked an elk for 3 days in the snow, and you can't go 20 feet with a trash can without your dad's truck? I mean, but his brain would allow him to stay that focused until he met that goal. Women are different. Everything's connected. If he says something, it's connected to 800 different memories in my brain instantly. And I start feeling the things that go along with that. I have a responsibility to grow up and control my emotions.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Yes.
And then have a responsibility to understand. I don't understand how this woman's brain works. I'm not going to ask her if she's going to start her period. Because that's like throwing gasoline on fire.
No one's that stupid.
No, well, we're learning. We're all learning. And I'm not going to ask her, are you crazy? Right? They're not going to say that. But what do I say? What do I say? Gary has learned more and more. Most of the time, I don't need him to say anything. I just need him to listen. Because eventually, I'm going to figure it out myself. And sometimes I have to say it out loud to figure it out myself. It's a process we grow into. So accepting that we have two completely different brains. You guys killed my computer. I blame Abe. I blame Abe for everything. Too soon? Come on, everything's Seth Barnes' fault. You would just pass it us more. I love Seth Barnes. You don't ever say anything negative about him. Okay, brains are very different, our bodies are very different. All of this is for a purpose. So of course the enemy is going to come in and say the differences in you are bad, and so the only way you're going to get along is to be more like each other. No. The only way you're going to get along is to have some patience, some understanding, some conversations, and learn each other.
Yeah.
How do you learn other people? Watching and listening.
Yeah.
Watch and listen, ask questions. I study.
Yeah.
So me coming from the situation where all of a sudden there's 4 men in my house, They're adorable, they're funny, they're messy, there's rugby balls and jock straps and everything's getting broken, but I've never had that much life in my house before. There's so much life that little boys bring. It's amazing. That little Toby, every time I see him, whenever, like, the other day, he had this huge blue backpack on, and he's like, "Do you like my backpack?" I was like, can you just never, ever grow up? And you telling me that your blue backpack is pink backpack. The only way that I knew how to relate to what these men might need is to actually study the way a man's mind works, the way that a little boy's mind works. And I realized that my words were incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
You know that in your head, but if you really watch the way that people respond. My favorite study of all time, I know some of you have heard this, but it's so worth repeating. I read a study. I was a psychology major in school, and I was fascinated by human behavior. But I read a study, and I cannot find it, but I promise you it's true. And it was a study of newborn babies. Newborn baby girls, newborn baby boys. The newborn baby boys and baby girls were all attached to every kind of thing that you could to show their heart rate, what was happening in their brains, what was happening in their blood flow, everything. They're all hooked up to these machines. The mothers showed distress to the baby through her face and her words and her actions that she was upset about something. The baby girls began to cry and scream and wiggle around, but their heart rate stayed the same. The baby boys did not cry or wiggle or show any distress, but their heart rates went through the roof.
Wow.
And when I read that study, I realized there were so many times that I would be talking to my sons, and I'm waiting for them to respond to me as a female would respond to me, and I couldn't get any response, so I thought they didn't care.
Right. Yeah.
And then I realized that their heart rates were going through the roof because mom was upset.
Yeah.
And it changed the way that I talked to the men in my life. What men? Yes? No? Am I wrong? Am I right? Is it true? Okay. Yes, baby.
What does that sound like? Because, like, I know in my house, my brother, 2 older girls, younger brother, same parenting style. And so, like, he reacts out of anger when he's confronted with something like that. Whereas, like, us girls didn't necessarily respond that way. So, like, what does that language look like when you're
I
talking about that?
think absolutely as you grow, your personality and the way that you respond is going to bring that out. The point of that study is that what we might perceive as someone being unaffected. I talk to young women a lot, and they're like, he doesn't seem to care.
Okay.
And the point is, when a man cares, men are very sensitive. I think most men are more internally sensitive than most women are. I really do believe this.
Yeah.
They feel extremely deeply. The last thing they want to do is hurt the woman that they love. The last thing they want to do is upset their mother. Okay, so but when a man gets quiet, it's because he's removing himself from the situation, and he's trying to think about what he's going to say. Whereas a woman will just keep talking. So what that can produce, if you have a man who feels very deeply and does not want to hurt you, and you're in a relationship with him, and he gets quiet, a woman might perceive that as he does not care about how I feel, which is going to make her more upset, which is going to make her use more words, which might make her say things that would hurt him even deeper. He's going to go deeper into his cave. Because he's going to think about what was said. It happens all the time. On Monday, right before we go to bed, I'm like, gee, I'm just really kind of upset about one of our kids. I had a conversation with blah, 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 and can we just pray about it and just, when you get back, and he's like, okay, and he goes to sleep. When I was young and immature and I didn't understand, I thought he didn't care. But I know Wednesday he's going to say to me, out of the blue, babe, I've really been thinking about what you told me the other day about Tyler. And here's what I think. Here's what I think. He needed time to gather his thoughts and really figure out what the Lord was saying, what he was feeling, and then express them to me. Okay, now men, you can respond to that. Because I am a woman standing here telling you how men think, and I'm very aware of that. So you're safe. You can say how you really feel. If you don't want to say anything, you can be quiet too. Poor Grace is like, please don't. Where's my cave? Where's my cave? Women, can you see how that could possibly happen?
Yeah.
Can you see see how if you have the perspective that a man feels deeply, but needs time to work things through in his own mind because he wants to say the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see where that would allow you to give him some space instead of letting your heart grow into anger?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you haven't had men in your life that didn't care
Mm-hmm.
and walked out and slammed the door, you never saw him again. I'm saying that the men in this room and most men
Mhm.
feel deeply.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
You guys okay?
Mm-hmm.
Fine with me.
Thank you.
Okay, so what does Eve mean? To live, to breathe, to give life. So, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful queens, this is what you were created for.
Yeah.
And it goes so much beyond physically giving birth to a child. You literally have within you what God put in you, the ability to breathe life into dead things.
Yeah, come on.
You have the ability with your mouth to actually take something that has been cursed and bring it back to life.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have the ability, you have the ability with that same mouth to tear people down. And it has way more power than you realize.
Yeah.
And women default to that when they're immature and they act like little girls.
Yeah.
So can we go there for a minute?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're not just the birther, you're the sustainer. Think about that, okay? So we'll use the example of a woman's body because we are physically able to have a baby grow within us,
Mm-hmm.
to expel the baby out of us into the world, and then keep the baby alive with that same body.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you what the comedian said about that? They did? No? Carrie and I love to laugh. Sometimes our life is so serious. Like, everybody's suicidal in our life, and everybody's having marriage issues, and so sometimes we just put a comedian on and we just laugh really, really hard and we're fine. So we were watching this comedian, he's like, you know, did you ever think about it? Like, a woman can actually carry a baby in her body for 9 months, and then she really actually squeezes a human being out of a very small space. And then she can keep that baby alive for years out of that same body. And he goes, and then if you think of the male equivalent of what we have contributed, it's really not that big. That's true. You can kind of deposit and move on, and we really are kind of held with a lot more responsibility. I mean, I did when I would speak in the high school. Just to be really honest, I used to speak in the high school about abstinence because that was the biggest problem in that generation. We were worried about people having sex, getting an STD, or having a pregnancy, or having to deal with an abortion before they were ready for that. That was our main focus. Now we want everyone just to live.
Mm-hmm.
Now we want people not to take any kind of pill because it could be laced with something else. I mean, the things have gotten drastically deeper, but the thing that I would teach them about was that, you know, the truth is that a man can contribute because women are receivers, men are givers, right? They give the life, but we receive it, and then we have to sustain it. And I tried to get these women to think the actual practical cost of a sexual act is actually going to sit much heavier on you than it is on a man. Because if a 16, 17, 18-year-old boy decides not to contribute to what he has helped create, you are either going to carry a baby to term and have a child, or you are by choice going to decide to not carry that baby to term, which has lasting issues for you as well. They do.
Yeah.
We love everybody, and we're sorry for everything everybody's went through, but there's no easy way out of a pregnancy.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be big, and it's going to impact your life.
Yeah.
And I just try to get them to see this is going to affect you more deeply.
Mm-hmm.
The STDs and the I guess now we're supposed to call them STIs, they're sexually transmitted infections, which they're not, they're both. But that some diseases that stay in women's body forever, men never have any symptoms of. I mean, the fallout is just a big decision for a woman, to where the only thing I want everyone to agree with is sex is always a big deal. Let's just go there. Let's just say sex is always a big deal. So if we get a chance to talk about that tomorrow, we'll talk about what sex within and without a covenant, what we have to deal with. Okay, so you are the sustainers of life. You can, sorry, I said so much this morning. Okay, here's what women do. Where there's darkness, we bring light. Where there's brokenness, we bring wholeness. Where there are woods and weeds and barren places, we step in and make it look like the Garden of Eden. Where there is one man, we join him, we have a family.